Many experiments and a lot of research have been done into how and why our daily behavior and experiences are behind. The findings are plain to see. If you are in pursuit of a way to overcharge your personal growth, an important first step is recognizing our behavior's psychology. Luckily, the knowledge is half the fight. You will see the psychological advantages start to take shape as you consider all the different ways our minds construct expectations, evaluate decisions, and function subconsciously. It is like a backstage pass to the way we're operating. And backstage, you get an even deeper understanding of what it takes for success. The following 6 psychology facts can be interpreted as a self-improvement guide for a hacker based on default brain settings. Yeah, that's what this is. Your backstage passes as to how our brain works and how we can better prevent common misunderstandings. Don't think about slipping and tripping in front of your boyfriend. Doing so would make him more like you. Go ahead and confess your flaws to your friends. Your humanity will endear them. As a result of the pratfall effect, these errors cause charm. Those who never make errors are viewed as less likable than those who commit the occasional faux pas. Messing up draws you closer to people, makes you more human. Perfection produces an unattractive aura of invincibility and space. All of us who have missed the Pygmalion effect. Greater expectations drive higher performance. The crux of this psychological phenomenon is the idea of a self-fulfilling prophecy. It will inevitably be that you assume that something is true of yourself. The first Pygmalion impact test was conducted by psychologist Robert Rosenthal and occurred with first and second grade students in an elementary school classroom. All the students took an evaluation test at the beginning of the year, and Rosenthal led the teachers to believe that certain students were capable of great academic achievement. Rosenthal picked these students at random, unaware of the actual IQ test results. When the students were retested at the end of the year, the high achievers group did indeed display their peers' progress. What was it for? Later experiments concluded that the special category was subconsciously provided by the teacher's greater resources. The bystander impact. The more people who see someone in distress, the less likely they are to offer assistance. Good Samaritan's parable clearly shows this effect, as do a lot of horrific happenings in history. Researchers term it a confusion of accountability, where when others are present, individuals feel less responsible for a case's results. In reality, the likelihood of support relates inversely to the number of people present. If you are ever going to need support, don't go in a crowd looking for it. In research by social psychologists Bibb Latane and John Darley, the bystander effect was demonstrated. They were watching students react to a fellow student's alleged choking in a nearby cubicle. When the test subjects thought they were the only other person there, 85 rushed to assist. When the student thought another person was there, 65% supported. The percentage fell to 31% when the student thought there were 4 other people. In a school group project, you may have witnessed the bystander effect. Sometimes there is one community member who puts off deadlines and tasks due to diffuse responsibility. They believe that someone else will pick up the slack. Specifically, when you need assistance, ask someone by name for help to get out of the pressure of accountability. It is particularly counterintuitive, as we instinctively believe that asking a wider community to support us will inspire more people to join in when the reverse is the case. Only pick one person each time to prevent annoyance. The spotlight effect. You don't remember your errors as much as you think. The sense of our being under constant scrutiny is in our minds alone, and the fear and self-doubt we experience every time we make a mistake is not a representation of reality. According to the spotlight effect, people don't pay attention to our moments of disappointment as much as we think. At Cornell, a team of psychologists asked a group of test subjects to wear an embarrassing t-shirt with an image of Barry Manilow's face to measure the spotlight effect and guess how many other people had seen what they were wearing. The figures were twice as high as the real number of the test subjects. You are less often brought under the spotlight than you think. Recognizing this can lead to improved comfort and relaxation in public environments and greater freedom. More so, you can rest assured when you make a mistake, knowing the effect is far less than you thought. You can't get rid of the shame you feel when you're committing a faux pas, but it lets you know how much you're exaggerating its effect. The focusing effect. People emphasize one aspect of an incident too much and fail to consider other factors. Nothing in life is as essential as you think it is. as you think it is. Daniel Kahneman, how big is the difference in mood between someone earning a high income and earning a lower income? The gap does exist, but it's less than 1/3 of what most people expect. It shows the concentrating effect. In the case of income, the income factor related to mood overshadows the myriad other playing circumstances. What makes a Californian happier than a Midwesterner? When psychologists asked people of both areas this question, each group responded that the Californians had to be considerably happier. The reality is there was no difference between the Californians and Midwesterners' real happiness level. Respondents centered on California's sunny weather and easygoing lifestyle as the leading factors in happiness, while there are, in fact, many other less-known facets of happiness that Midwesterners enjoy. Low crime, earthquake safety. Marketers use focusing effect, also called focusing illusion, on customers by persuading them of a product or service's required features. Politicians, too, use concentrating on overemphasizing the importance of specific problems. To combat this effect, maintaining perspective, looking at issues from several angles, and weighing multiple factors before making a decision is necessary. The concentrating effect's drawback is that it can lead to errors in estimating future results. You will increase the chances of making a rational decision if you can stop tunnel vision or at least admit it can exist. Psychology is an empirical study of mental mechanisms and human behavior. It has existed since the ancient Egyptian and Greek civilizations, mainly as a branch of philosophy, but broke out as an independent branch of scientific study in the 1870s. The results of psychological experiments are more important and valued than any previous time, and top researchers are still uncovering new findings and applications for psychology. Consider, for example, the initial response of early 20th century psychological and medical practitioners to World War I veterans. An initial hypothesis, written by physicist Charles Myers in 1915, posited soldiers suffered shell due to exposure to frequent concussive explosions, which resulted in brain damage. When this hypothesis was disproved, the conventional opinion at the time was that the people suffering from shell shock were either frail or cowardly. Even though some figures claim that about 20% of the surviving veterans of the First World War acquired the disease. Modern psychologists almost universally accept that shell shock was simply what we generally call today a post-traumatic stress disorder (DDW). Many of the primary modern psychology applications revolve around protecting people from emotional and physical damage, while providing them with the mental capacity required to cope with the psychological perils that many people face every day. Issues such as relationships, workplace tension, and financial problems may all be caused by psychological symptoms that involve intervention and management, where modern psychology comes into play, and why it is so relevant. Despite the popular image of the media-popularized private practice therapist, psychology practitioners do have access to a wide variety of industries and fields, from education and criminal justice to marketing and politics.